Top 10 Saddest Deaths in Naruto. Naruto as a franchise is stuffed to the brim with emotional highs and lows. For every jubilant scene where a main villain is taken out by one of our heroes, there are just as many somber moments. Of course, no moments hit harder than when a beloved character passes away, which is why today we're going to rank the top 10 saddest deaths in Naruto. Bear in mind, this ranking is just the opinion of the Amagi team. If yours is different than ours, that's totally fair, and we'd love to read them in the comments. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the top 10 saddest deaths in Naruto. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Number 10. The Hidden Leaf Village. While Naruto's hometown isn't exactly a person and can't technically die, it absolutely felt like somebody passed away when Pain massacred the community during his attack. We'd seen the village wrecked badly before during Orochimaru's assault, but this was a whole new level of devastation. Pain turned the entire Hidden Leaf Village into a crater and took out an untold number of innocent bystanders. Of course, a lot of named characters died as well during Pain's assault. Fan favorite character Kakashi was eviscerated by Pain's avatars, and Choji and his father Choza were not doing much better. Then there's Hinata, who definitely seemed to bite it while trying to protect Naruto from Pain. Even if these characters would later be revived, seeing them pass away so unceremoniously between action sequences really enforced the devastation of this event. In its own way, seeing the Hidden Leaf Village utterly obliterated did feel like witnessing a character pass away. This is the central location in Naruto, and for all of its faults, it always seemed like a cool place that fans would love to visit. Its destruction felt like a surrogate home was taken away from fans, and many felt the loss of whimsy and innocence that goes along with that. This moment definitely raised the stakes in the series, but is also definitely the 10th saddest death in the franchise. Number 9. The Uchiha Clan. For as sad as the death of the Hidden Leaf Village was, imagine how much worse it'd be if everyone stayed dead. That's exactly what happened during the Uchiha Clan massacre and why it's the 9th saddest death in Naruto. Once the event is revealed in Naruto, it's plenty macabre from the get-go. Sasuke's older brother Itachi kills everyone in their clan besides themselves for no apparent reason and seemingly leaves Sasuke alive just to torture him. It's no wonder that Sasuke is all but consumed by his desire for revenge. As the series goes on, all these deaths become even more tragic. It turns out that Itachi was actually ordered by the Leaf Village's leadership to assassinate the clan so as to prevent a civil war. Apparently, the Uchiha clan was planning an uprising and peace talks had broken down. It's so much worse that this wasn't just a random act of violence, and instead something that could have been totally prevented if better people were leading each community. The only thing keeping this item from being higher on the list is the fact that we as an audience don't really have a personal connection to any of the people that passed away here. That's going to change with the rest of the entries though. Number 8. Itachi. Both times Itachi dies in Naruto are absolutely gut-wrenching. The first time is during his and Sasuke's final showdown. The two duke it out with the battle gradually growing in scope until Sasuke is utterly exhausted and Orochimaru takes over his body. Itachi then saves Sasuke, only to pass away shortly after out of either illness or overexertion. While we don't have much sympathy for Itachi at this point in the series, this is still a somber moment that doesn't bring much closure to us as an audience, and only seems to give Sasuke a subtle satisfaction. We then learn that Itachi only slaughtered the Uchiha to protect Sasuke and the large Hidden Leaf Village community. This only enrages Sasuke, and he quickly agrees to help with any plan that will let him enact his newfound vengeance against his hometown. That changes when Itachi is revived during the 4th Shinobi War arc though. Here the two siblings actually have a chance to talk and reconnect. Laying bare the truth of their situation and how it affected each of them, they rekindle their brotherly bond and understand each other's motivations and values. This is the closure that both of them, and us as an audience, desperately needed. And Itachi passing away again was definitely a tearjerker. Number 7. Obito. Obito is a hard character to feel sympathy for. After all, most of the terrible things to happen in the latter half of the series are directly due to his plotting. On the other hand, it's hard not to see where he's coming from. After all, he had his lifelong dreams snatched away from him, as well as the person he cared the most about in Rin. He wants to have at least a chance at the life that he lost, and his and Madara's Eye of the Moon plan can give it to him. Does this justify killing upwards of thousands of people and countless other horrific acts? No. Does Obito helping our heroes defeat this super secret final boss at the end of Naruto absolve him from all those acts? Also, no, but it at least makes you kinda root for the guy. Obito passing away unfulfilled and just barely having made peace with his life is pretty sad. What's really a shame is that he never had a chance to fully redeem himself or have any kind of shot at the life that he wanted. He just went out trying to do a little bit of good for the people he harmed so much, and there's a quiet sadness to that. Number 6. Shikaku and Inoichi. On the other side of the spectrum, Shikaku and Inoichi's deaths are a major bummer because we know that they had great lives. Fathers to Shikamaru and Ino respectively, these two were accomplished ninja in their own right and were having their kids carry on their legacy even as it was being written. Considering how much baggage family members bring to a lot of characters in Naruto, these two had it pretty great. In fact, they basically set the standards of the Naruto universe. They were high-ranking ninja who served their community dutifully for years and were respected for their efforts. They did it. They lived the dream. And then all they get for it is a swift death at the hands of the Ten Tails. Is there a lesson here about enjoying the journey that is life instead of focusing on the destination? Absolutely, but it's still a bummer that these two passed away just as they were hitting middle age. Even if it was in the service of protecting their friends and families, these felt like some pretty unnecessary and therefore even sadder deaths. Number 5. Hiruzen Sarutobi. Hiruzen Sarutobi, better known as the Third Hokage, passed away while fighting Orochimaru during the rogue ninja's assault on the Hidden Leaf Village during the Chunin exams. In fact, it's entirely possible that Orochimaru planned the entire attack just for the chance to prove himself against his former teacher. Though he loses the use of his arms in the process, Orochimaru accomplishes his goal and slays the Third Hokage. His death doesn't hit super hard the moment it happens. After all, we don't know much about Hiruzen by this point in the series, and he inexplicably didn't treat Naruto, his deceased successor's son, very well. It was also later revealed that a lot of shady stuff happened in the village under his watch, even if he wasn't directly behind any of those activities. When the entire village comes together to mourn his passing is when the feels are dialed up to 11 though. Seeing everyone we've come to care about in the series, and even every background character express grief at Sarutobi's death, is when the size of what transpired is made clear. These people just lost a pillar of their community, and it's hard not to resonate with these emotions. Number 4. Asuma Sarutobi. Asuma, Hiruzen's son, also bites it over the course of the series. His passing is much more surprising and a lot less grandiose than that of his father's. It hits hard and unexpectedly, forcing feelings of shock and sadness forward. Asuma died while fighting the Akatsuki member Hidan. While the fight initially proved difficult for Asuma due to Hidan's immortality, it seemed like a pretty standard Naruto fight. The tide of battle changes sides a few times until the heroes emerge victorious. Except that doesn't happen here. There's no final twist, and Asuma dies completely outwitted and outmatched by the rogue ninja he was trying to apprehend. This isn't how fights in Naruto are supposed to work, and it was shocking to see the likable character completely and utterly defeated. The fact that he's leaving his partner Kurenai and their unborn child behind makes his passing hit all the harder. Asuma's death was a firm reminder that there are stakes in the Naruto universe, and no amount of ninja magic can completely erase the brutality of this setting. Number 3. Konan. Konan tried to escape that cycle of violence in Naruto, but it quickly caught up with her and ended her life. Konan, one of Jiraiya's few last living disciples and a former Akatsuki member, left the organization after Pain's passing. She believed that Naruto would find a way to create lasting peace, and as such only wanted to step back from the ninja world and protect it from the powers the Akatsuki cultivated. Of course, she couldn't do that for long though, and Obito eventually tried to take Pain's powerful Rinnegan eyes from his corpse. She fought valiantly to stop him and even managed to put the shadowy true leader of the Akatsuki on the ropes. However, it was fruitless in the end, and she passed away just like her former teacher and classmates. Konan's death is really rough and serves to demonstrate just how systemic the problems in Naruto's world are. If you have any kind of power, someone is going to come and take it from you, and it's impossible to simply not participate in this system. While this system is eventually broken, this happens far too late to do Konan any good. Number 2. Minato and Kushina. Minato and Kushina, Naruto's parents, die saving their son and the Hidden Leaf Village by sealing the nine-tailed demon fox inside of him. While this is an incredible kindness, they're also dooming him to a life of hardship and scorn from the community. They realize this in their final moments, but trust their son will be strong enough to overcome these hardships and live a fulfilling life. If you aren't tearing up already, you may have a heart of stone. Minato and Kushina's death is a double-edged sword in that we knew it was coming but had no idea it would be so emotionally impactful. We don't spend much time with Naruto's parents over the course of the series, but they play such a pivotal role in it that it's hard not to become immediately invested. They're also such a likable couple that are so clearly living their best lives that you can't help but want good things for them. Their death is touching to not only Naruto when he finally learns the details, but also to us as viewers. It's fundamental in Naruto figuring out his place in the world and gives him the confidence to achieve his goals. It's pretty much everything you want out of a sad anime death, and only falls to the number 2 spot because the number 1 character is so much closer to our hearts. Number 1. Jiraiya. Naruto's most impactful teacher and one of the strongest ninja in the franchise dies against Pain while on a mission to learn more about the Akatsuki's leader, Pain, also known as Nagato, who was one of Jiraiya's former pupils, which means he laid the groundwork for the group that's caused him and those he's close with so much suffering. As he passes away, after being stabbed repeatedly, all he can do is lament his many failures in life and hope that Naruto does better than he did. This is one of the greatest deaths of all time in a shonen series, for good reason. Jiraiya is a really great character who can seamlessly shift between being fun and weird and badass whenever a scene calls for one particular vibe. His introduction to the story also opened up Naruto's world, and he served as a catalyst to introduce the generations of political and interpersonal strife that colored Naruto's setting. He was a great character, and it sucked to see him go without any kind of final hurrah. In a series filled with incredible moments, this is definitely one of the most remembered and stands out as the most somber of the bunch. Jiraiya's passing is easily the saddest death in the series and might be one of the saddest moments in the entire franchise. He was definitely missed in later parts of the series, but will stand out to shonen fans for years to come thanks to his untimely passing. Conclusion. Now, we know what you're thinking. Why isn't Kurama number 1 on this list? For those out of the loop, Kurama sacrificed himself so Naruto could protect his friends and family. You can catch a review of the chapter to get up to date, and this death was pretty sad, but we know Kurama isn't going to stay dead for long. Mostly because tailed beasts reincarnate, but also because the authors aren't going to deprive Naruto of his coolest powers for long. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.